Hello friends, this is CA Sameer Totle and I welcome you back again to the Master of Accounts series next video. In the previous video, we had taken a few transactions and we had looked into the journal entries for those transactions. I had given you a few homework sums. I hope all of you have done those sums. We are now discussing these sums so that you understand how to pass journal entries for these sums. So let's start friends. The first question for homework was till takings. Now the big question arises, what is till takings, right? So by till takings we mean cash sales, that is goods sold for cash. Okay, cash sales in simple word is goods sold for cash. So this is the business is selling goods and it is receiving cash immediately, right? So let's start solving. So what did we sell? We sold goods. How did we sell it? Till takings mean cash sales. So we sold it for cash. So here we have our two accounts. Goods. See, now we have grown up, will not be taking goods, will be taking either purchase or sales. So it is goods sold, so it would be sales. So one account would be cash account and the other account would be sales account. Now let's look into the type of account. Cash account is real. Sales account is also real. Let's look into the rules for real accounts. So what are the rules for real accounts, my friends? Uh, do you remember it? The rules are debit what comes in, credit what goes out, right? So we are selling goods. So cash is coming in and goods are going out. Cash is coming in, goods are going out. So as per the rules, debit what comes in and credit what goes out. Cash is coming in, so cash account is debited. Goods are going out, so goods account is credited. So the final answer what we get, my friends, is cash account is debited and sales account is credited. So this is the final answer, my friends. Mark these transactions. So go through the sum once more. Till takings means cash sales. What did we sell? Goods. How? Cash. So two accounts are cash and sales. Cash real comes in debit. Sales real goes out credit. Okay. I hope it is very easy for you now. So let's move on to the next transaction. Goods sold to Mohan rupees 8,000. Okay. Now I want all of you to write down a rule, my friends. This is something important what you need to write down today. If nothing is told, I write it down for you. If nothing is told, then how do we decide whether it is a cash transaction or a credit transaction? Looking at this sum, see, goods sold to Mohan, we have not been told whether this is a cash transaction or a credit transaction. So we have a doubt. So how to solve this doubt? It is based on an assumption. How to assume whether it is a cash transaction or a credit transaction? If nothing is told, but party's name is given, we assume it to be credit transaction. Now my friends, remember it, this is applicable only in case of purchase or sale of goods or assets. This rule is applicable only in case of purchase or sale of goods or assets only. So mark my words, my friend. I want you to write this down. This is a very important rule, important assumption. If nothing is told but party's name is given, we assume it to be a credit transaction. So looking at this, goods sold to Mohan rupees 8,000. We have not been told whether it is a cash transaction or a credit transaction. What are we going to assume? We are going to check out whether party's name is given. So here, have a look at my friends. Party's name is given. So if party's name is given, obviously this becomes a credit transaction as per the assumption. So what did we sell? What did we sell? Goods. Now again, my friend, we have grown up, so there won't be goods account, it would be sales account. How did we sell it? So the answer would be credit because this is based on the assumption. To whom did we sell it? So we have the answer Mohan. So now we have our two accounts, Mohan's account and sales account. Okay, now Mohan is personal in nature, sales is real in nature. Some of you may assume sales to be nominal in nature, answer would be the same, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's have a look at the rules for personal account. Because Mohan's account is a personal account, rule for personal accounts would apply. I hope you remember the rules. It is debit the receiver and credit the giver. So we are selling goods to Mohan. So what does Mohan become? Mohan becomes a receiver. We are giving the goods to Mohan. Na? So as per the rules, debit the receiver. So Mohan's account would be debited. Now let us have a look at rules for real accounts. So what are the rules? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Now my friends, we are selling goods, right? So goods are going out. So goes out. So as per the rules, credit what goes out. So sales account would be credited. So here we have our final answer. Mohan account would be debited and sales account would be credited. Right, my friends? So it's an interesting transaction. I want all of you to have a look at it. So goods sold to Mohan rupees 8,000. Now the question again arises, as I told you, whether the transaction is cash or credit. So we need to move on to an assumption. The assumption says if nothing is told, but party's name is given, we assume it to be a credit transaction. In this case, party's name is given and nothing is told. So this is a credit transaction, my friends. Now what is sold? Goods. How? Credit whom? Mohan. So the two accounts we have is Mohan and sales. Mohan personal receiver debit, sales real goes out credit. So it's so very simple. So let's move on to the next transaction, friends. See, accounts is all about understanding how to pass journal entries. Once you have understood how to pass journal entries, nothing is difficult in accounts. It's just the matter of being able to pass perfect journal entries. So let's move on to the next transaction, my friends. Purchase of goods on account from Anand. Now you would again feel, so we have not been told whether it is a cash transaction or a credit transaction. No, my friends, we have been told there are two words used over here. On account. Basically, on account means credit. What is the definition of on account transaction? It is purchase or sale of goods or assets on credit and receipt or payment of money which is already due. So if these two things take place, it is an on account, that is a credit transaction. So remember, my friends, wherever you get through these words on account, remember they denote a credit transaction. Okay, so let's move on. What did we purchase? Obviously goods. But now, my friends, we have grown up, we'll be using the word purchases. Now there is a confusion. Should we use the word purchases even for assets? No. Purchases, the word purchases is used only for goods. Remember that always. It is used only for goods. Otherwise than goods, if it is assets, it would remain assets. We won't be using the word purchases. Okay. So the term purchases denote goods obtained for resale. Okay, I'll define the word purchases. The term purchase denote goods obtained for resale or for consumption in the process of production or in rendering of services. So raw material or goods obtained for resale only can be termed as purchases. So what purchases? How? As we have been told, it is on account, that is, it is credit. Then the next question will arise: whom? From whom did we purchase these goods? So we purchased these goods from Mr. Anand. So here, my friends, we get the two accounts. One is purchases, the other one is Anand. Again, now what are the type of accounts? These are purchases is real, as we know, all of us know, and Anand is personal. Let's move on to the rules for real accounts. Now, what are the rules for real accounts? Debit what comes in and credit what goes out. I agree, my friends. Some of you might be feeling, sir, we are doing the same thing again and again and again. But that is so very important. I want you to understand, because you need to see to it that these rules get into your blood, not into your brain. not just into your brains. So purchases, we are getting the goods. So goods are coming in. So as per the rules, debit what comes in. So purchases account would be debited. Now Anand is a personal account. So let's look into the rules of personal accounts as well. So what are the rules for personal accounts? Debit the receiver, credit the giver. In my class, my friends, we follow these steps at least for roughly a couple of hundred transactions. Till the time I feel all the students are pit-pat with these rules, we continue following these steps. So we are purchasing goods from Anand. Anand is giving us credit, so Anand is the giver, and as per the rules, credit the giver. Mr. Anand is the giver, and as per the rules, credit the giver. So herein we get our answer: purchases account debit and Anand's account credit. Simple, right? See, I know all of you must be feeling that, sir, it's so simple, we can do it orally. Why do we need to write it down? I tell you again and again, if you want to be master, you have to practice. Okay, you will never come across any master of any subject who has not practiced and he has become a master overnight. Becoming master in any subject requires huge amount of practice. I'll tell you my own story. I used to practice not less than 10 to 12 registers every year for accounts. But then that has given me confidence to pass any kind of a journal entry or make any kind of a posting of any journal in any ledger without having to think twice, right? And with the experience what I've gained and with my teachings, I'll tell you we have 70 plus students of ours who are teaching in the teaching field. So with the perfection what they get over here, they are able to teach outside as well. So for being a teacher, you need to know anything perfectly, and that is what we try to do at our classes: make everyone understand everything perfectly. Okay, the basic intricacies of those entries, and that is important. Now paid to Ram rupees 1500, this is the next transaction. Now the big question arises is, why are we paying to Ram? Is the reason given? No sir, I don't see any reason over here. So are we paying Ram in any kind of a friendship? Obviously not. Business does not have emotions. Business does not value friendship. Business does everything for the pure purpose of earning profit. Right? So why is the business paying Mr. Ram? You need to think over it. See, this is our business and we are paying Mr. Ram. Who is Mr. Ram? Why are we paying to him? We cannot pay anyone out of just a whim to pay. Nahi, yaar, chalo, I want to pay this person. This is a good friend of mine. No, we are not. So why are we paying? Is this rent? Is this salary? Is this commission? Is this interest? No, nothing has been told. Then why are we paying some person? Why do we pay any person if nothing? There is no reason to pay. Obviously, there has to be a reason to pay. Now I want all of you to just give a bit of a stress to your brain and try to understand what would be the reason we are paying Ram. Why? Think 10 times why are we paying Ram? So I'll give you an idea. Why are we paying Ram? We are paying him because obviously this money was due beforehand, or we are giving him a loan, either of the two. We have not been told that we are giving him a loan. So it's simple. This money was overdue or it was due beforehand. Now we are repaying it. So we have taken something on credit from Ram. Now we are paying for that. We have taken a loan from Ram, or we have taken goods or assets on credit from Ram. The amount is due. Ram is our creditor. Now we are paying Ram. Okay. So we are paying not out of love, but out of a credit transaction. We already had to pay him. Ram was our creditor, and now we are repaying him. How do we know? Because nothing is told. We don't pay anyone uselessly. We are paying him just because there has to be some reason. And now, because the reason is not given, we are going to assume, obvious सी बात है कि we had to pay him, and that's why we are paying him. So if we had to pay him, it means he was our creditor. So this transaction turns out to be a credit transaction. Okay. And what are we paying to him? We are paying, if nothing is told, obviously we are paying either cash or by check, and here nothing is told, so we are paying cash. So what did we pay to Ram? We either cash or by check, so nothing has been told, so we paid cash to Ram. How? Now, as I have told you, there is no friendship in any kind of a business. This was a credit transaction which we are repaying right now. So how would we credit? And whom did we pay the cash to? So the answer is given in the question. We paid the cash to Mr. Ram. So we have our two accounts over here, friends. Have a look at it. One account is Ram account. The other one is cash account. So by nature, Ram account is personal, cash account is real. So let's look into the rules of personal accounts now. As we all know, the rules are very simple. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Now we are paying Mr. Ram. See, this is Mr. Ram. We are paying Mr. Ram. So Mr. Ram becomes the receiver. He is receiving the cash. So as per the rule, debit the receiver. Mr. Ram is receiving the cash. Now let's have a look at the rules for real accounts. Now what do the rules for real accounts say? They are again very simple. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Now whose point of view you have to take? Obviously we have to look into the from the point of view of business. So this is our business, this is our point of view. Now cash is, what is happening to cash? Cash is going out. Have a look at it. Have a look at the arrowhead. From the business, cash is going out. So as per the rules, credit what goes out. So here we get our answer, my friends. Ram account debited and cash account credited. Again, this was a very simple transaction. See, to be able to pass journal entries, you need to know these rules, and you should be clear about what you are doing, right? There has to be no confusion in your mind. See, paid to Ram rupees 1500. Now again the question arises, why are we paying to Ram? No reason has been given. So there is an assumption that we are paying to him because we already owed that money to Mr. Ram. So it means that the transaction is a credit transaction. So now what are we paying to Ram? Cash. How? Credit whom? Mr. Ram. Ram personal receiver debit, cash real goes out credit. So it's a simple transaction. Next, Sagar invested in business 10,000. Now let's have a look at this, my friends. Now this is us, business. We are the accountant of business. Now I'll tell you one thing. There is a concept by the name separate legal entity concept. I'll write that down. Separate. Some people call it just legal entity concept. Just some people call it entity concept. We call it separate legal entity concept. Complete name. Now what is that concept? The concept is very simple. It says that the business and the owner are two different things, two different entities, two different people. Now who is the owner over here? Sagar. Sir, how do you know? No one invests in business. Only the owner invests in business. Okay. So this is Mr. Sagar. He is investing in the business. He is our owner. He owns the business. He is investing in the business. Now what is he investing? As nothing has been told, we are going to assume boss he is investing cash. Nothing has been told. Now what does the separate legal entity concept says? I repeat it once more. Business is separate and owner is separate. Now whose accountant are we? We are the accountant of business. Remember this. We are the accountant of business. So we always have to look at the point of view of business. Sagar or the owner is a separate legal entity. We have to record transactions from the point of view of business. Now what is happening? Sagar is investing cash in the business. Now is he doing any favor to the business? Sir, obviously not. He is going to take back that money. Whenever the business closes down, owner takes the money he has invested in the business back again. So it means Sagar or the owner is giving a loan to the business which will be repaid later on. Sagar or the owner is giving a loan to the business. It means again, my friends, my dear friends, this is a credit transaction. Mark my words, all transactions with the owner of the business are always credit transaction. Okay, no owner does any favor on his business. He is investing in the business from the point of view of earning out of it, and at the end of the business, whenever the business closes down, he is going to withdraw the money he has invested in the business. So this is a creditor transaction. So now, from business point of view, what do we call Sagar as? See, I hope you remember, you do not call the owner by his name. As you don't call your dad by your name, by his name, business will never call the owner by its name. Business will always call him capital for money invested and drawings for money withdrawn. Okay, so because he is investing, we are going to call him capital. So let's have a look at it, my friends, again. What did Sagar invest in the business? What did Sagar invest in the business? What did he invest? You can have a look at it. This is over here. Sagar invested cash in the business. Okay, now as I told, transaction with the owner is always a credit transaction because he's not doing a favor, he's giving a loan to the business. And who invested, whom did the person, who was the person who invested in the business? So it is Mr. Sagar, but because we cannot call the owner by his name, we want to call him capital because he has invested money. If he would have withdrawn money, we would have called it as drawings. So now we have our two accounts over here. One is the cash account, the other one is the capital account. Now cash account, obviously we all know, is a real account. Capital account is a personal account. Remember my friends, it is a personal account. It represents owner. It represents Sagar over here, and Sagar is a person, so capital account is also a personal account. Okay, many friends of mine end up making a mistake while classifying capital account. Capital is personal, it's not real. So what are the rules for real account? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Now my friend, Sagar is investing in the business, so cash is coming in, and as per the rules, debit what comes in. So comes in debit, and capital account is a personal account. So let's have a look at the rules for personal accounts. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. The owner is paying the money into the business, so owner becomes the giver. He is investing in the business. So as per the rules, credit the giver. So owner is the giver, and as per the rules, credit the giver. So here in my friends, we get our answer. Cash account is debited and capital account is credited. Okay, so let's have a look at this transaction once again. Now Sagar invested in the business. Who is Sagar? Sagar is the owner of the business. The transaction between owner and business is always a credit transaction. Remember the concept, it is separate legal entity concept. As I have told you, owner and business is separate. We are the accountant of the business. What did the owner invest in the business? Cash. How credit? Whom capital? Cash real comes in debit, capital personal, giver credit. Okay, it's simple, right my friends? So let's move on to the next transaction. Okay, let's look into the transaction. Gave loan to Radha. What are we giving to Radha? Loan is given in what form? So when you give someone a loan, what do you give? Either cash or check. So nothing is told. We are going to assume it as cash. How? A loan is obviously a credit transaction. And to whom did we pay? We paid it to Radha. So we have our accounts. Radha account and cash account. So friends, what is the type of Radha account? It is personal in nature and cash is real in nature. So let's have a look at the rules for personal accounts. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Now we are giving a loan to Radha, right? So Radha is getting the money. So debit the receiver. So Radha is the receiver, so her account would be debited. Now let's have a look at the rules for real accounts. What are the rules? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. We are giving a loan to Radha, right? So cash is going out of our hand. So cash goes out. So credit what goes out. So we get our answer, Radha account debited and cash account credited. So this is it, my friends, for the day. This was a simple transaction. I'll repeat it for you. Give a loan to Miss Radha. How are we going to give loan? We are going to give it in form of cash. Giving a loan is a credit transaction. And whom are we giving loan? We are giving loan to Radha. So Radha personal receiver debit, cash real goes out credit. Okay. Next transactions for homework. This for this homework is received rupees 3,000 from Sumit. I want all of you to write it down. Received rupees 3,000 from Sumit. Please write it down. Okay. Next is received rupees 2,000 from Sudhir for commission. Received rupees 2,000 from Sudhir for commission. So this is the transaction in front of you. Received rupees 2,000 from Sudhir for commission. And last, took loan from Nitin rupees 3,000. Took loan from Nitin rupees 3,000. Okay, go through these three transactions. This is your homework for the day. We meet in the next video and we are going to discuss these homework sums. Okay, till then, my friends, stay home, stay safe, and I hope all of you are going to work hard and you are going to become a master in accounts.